Is up, print fam. We are gonna get everything all set up here. See if anyone wants to jump on. How's it going? All right, print fan. Looks like we're getting a few people on the live stream here. Just thought I would jump on because my wife and kids are gone, and thought I'd answer questions. We haven't done a live stream in a while, so thought it might be fun to answer questions or post some updates. Looks like the last live stream was about 4 months ago, so make sure you hit that thumbs up button and let me know what questions you have. That way we can answer them and work and party and all that fun stuff. So, what questions do you have for me, or what secret stuff do you want to know? How can I help? How can I be of assistance tonight? And if we don't get any questions, I might do a mini shop tour, give you an update about what's going on, and we'll end it. But if people have questions, let's hear them. Maybe I should make a sign that says, ask your questions. Or I could just be quiet and just wait and not do anything unless someone asks a question. You tell me, what should I do? No questions? No thumbs up either? Bob, are you there? What's up, Dom? Do you have any questions that you'd like me to answer? Anything I can help you with, do for you? My Illustrator is freaking out. Well, I guess we'll start off with something easy. Where's everyone watching from tonight? Since we don't have any questions. The DTG is going well. They actually just bought a new DTG, which was supposed to be here today, but it will now be here tomorrow. The DTG that they have just has too many nozzles that are out, and so the quality, at least for like the stuff that I need them to print, is not there. So basically by me complaining and not being able to do anything for me, they ended up buying a new DTG printer. So hopefully that'll work out. And we even, let's see here, know someone was concerned for us. We got a gate now so that we can be safe up there. So, what's up, Bob? I'm surprised it took you so long to get here. I was anxiously waiting for you. Any other questions? Mid-press, no excuse, Bob. No excuse. No excuse. Sometimes when people send you files, well, I guess for me it makes me mad when they send files and they don't either outline the font or they don't send you the font, and then you have to go search for it. I'm working on some stickers for a job and they sent me PNG files, SVG files, PDF files, and an Illustrator file, which it's like, okay, at least they sent me everything, but I only asked for one. Top Daddy asks which CRM I use. I use Pipedrive. And then I also, in conjunction with Pipedrive, use Monday.com. But the CRM side of it is Pipedrive. Tanisha says, hey, so happy to see you. Hope family is doing well. Love from PA. Thank you. It's actually a sad story where my wife is. If I get a total of 2 more thumbs up, so 3 total, then I will tell you the sad story. So if we can get it to 3 thumbs up, I'll tell you the sad story. Alan, what's your go-to copy printer? I need more specific details about what you mean by copy printer, because that could mean a few different things. All right, we got 3 thumbs up, so I will tell you the sad story. In November, late November, early December, somewhere in there, we purchased a dog. I was okay with getting the dog, but I did not want a dog. I was okay with it, but basically it was like, I don't want to take care of it. I don't want to do anything with it because I don't really want one. Well, we ended up a few weeks ago sending it off to training because the dog's not aggressive, but like when you go for a walk, she gets distracted really easily, and she always goes with the leash super tight, and it's just hard. She, like, if she has no distractions and is just in the house, then she's okay, but if you go outside or do anything, then there's problems. So we sent her off to training. Well, we got a text today from the trainer saying it's bath day, so I put the dog, and she has guinea pigs, so I put the dog and the guinea pigs in the backyard, and I went out to get them to bathe them, and they're missing. So the dog is gone. So my wife and kids drove to their house, which is about 45 minutes away from us, and they are searching for the dog. So they took my Honda because it gets better gas mileage, and we don't all fit in the Honda, so I was told to stay home and work. So that's where I am, is here working. So yeah, it's sad. I'm sad that the dog is missing, and I'm sad for my wife and kids. And hopefully we can find the dog. But I'll keep you posted. So Alan said he is wondering about a basic printer for invoices. So I just put a Amazon affiliate link in the chat. I have not this exact printer because they don't make my exact printer anymore, but I have the old version of this printer, and I love it because it's cheap, fast, wireless, and just works well to print invoices. It's even cheaper than using like my click count, and so yeah, that's the printer I would use and I would get. So we got another question. Tips to find suppliers for pens that you are using with your fiber laser. So kind of the way that I did it was I sent a picture basically via Alibaba for the pen that I wanted to find a supplier that actually manufactured the pen, and I ordered some samples to make sure the samples were good. So it was a risk that I took to get the samples here, and as soon as I got the samples, tested them on the fiber laser, knew that they worked, then I placed a bulk order, and they came a couple days ago. I don't remember. 2 days ago, 1 day ago, Friday. I think it was Friday because my UPS lady was gone. So that is 30,000 pens. There's 29 boxes. So got to get those tomorrow. I'm actually getting another set of pallet racking so that we can extend it, and that will make it so we can stack more media here. And then I also am getting a 12-foot pallet rack that can go over the Konica so that we can stack all the paper for the Konica above the Konica rather than using this rack for all the paper. Basically, the new rack will go across the whole machine, and I'll just put the shelf right at the top so that we can hopefully move all the laser stuff over to that corner. Tanisha says, hope they find her. I just had to put down my dog 2 weeks ago, and his name was Yo-Yo. Our dog is named Duchess, so when I got home, so they got the dog, and when I got home, they said, we want one of two names, whatever the other name was, and Duchess. And growing up, I did always want a dog, but I've realized now that I don't want to pick up after one. I do like the dog. I probably wouldn't ever really admit that to my family. I do like the dog, and I will be sad if we don't find her. But my uncle had a dog named Duchess, and I'm getting emotional. My uncle had a dog named Duchess, and so when they had those two options, I picked Duchess. So I'm actually the one that finalized the name of the dog. She is an Aussie Doodle, I think. She's black, has a white spot on her chest and then on her paws. So I do hope that they find her. But she basically said, don't wait up for us, don't worry about us, just stay at work and work. So that's what I am doing. Bob said that he likes to use the Epson workforce printers for his invoices. he's got the 7720 and the 7820. Let's see. And Bob, aren't those the ones that have the tanks that you can refill? Or maybe those are different ones that I'm thinking of. But the nice thing about those Workforce, they are color. The one that I sent you is just black and white. Bob is saying no, they do not have the tanks to refill. I'm gonna butcher your name, even though I've read some. Kayatana? Hope I'm saying that right. Apologize. Asking cost-wise, are you able to produce them cheaper in-house than Sage suppliers? Yes, I am. It's actually significantly cheaper. All in, I'm able to import the pens for about 35 cents. And then decorating them is super cheap with the fiber laser. Wholesale wise, I'm actually offering them. I've got a few local customers that I'm offering them to, and I may end up offering them outside of that, but I was offering them here locally for 89 cents per pen, which wholesale from the people that provide the same pen that I purchased are typically 99 cents. But the kicker, I guess, is I am going to charge shipping. But that's why I'm only offering them local right now, because they just come pick them up. And like today, I had an order for 100 yellow pens, and for 24 pens, it took 5 minutes and 20 seconds. So about 20 minutes total to do all of the pens. So super quick, super awesome, super easy to do. I ordered, I think, 15 or 16 different colors, and then just a total of, I think it was 30,000 pens. I also ordered some non-soft touch. I ordered some just all metal pens. I think I ordered 2,000 or 5,000 of that one. I can't remember. I did also ask them to send me one of every color, but I don't want to break into all the boxes until everything is organized and they have a final resting point, because I don't want to undo them twice. Yes, Spencer, it does hurt to be so awesome. Dom says he uses refillable cartridges for his 7720. I'm thinking the ones that I was saying about the ones that you can refill. I think it's called an Eco Tank. Yeah, so Epson sells an Eco Tank, which has the little bottles like their sublimation printer that you can just fill up rather than doing it. Gustos asks which fiber laser I have. I have the 30 watt and a Raycus power source. If you look back a few videos, I talk about it. Alan, I've always wanted to order those big enterprise printers, but it's always blocked by a rental company. I don't understand what you mean, Alan. I've always wanted to order those big enterprise printers. Are you talking about like a Konica copier like you'd find at the UPS store? Ernesto asks what I price a pen engraved. So retail wise, for quantity of 100, I am planning on doing them for $165, because that's just the MSRP based off of my normal suppliers. and I was just going to match that. Once I do have my inventory out, I am probably going to do an initial offering on social media just to try to blow out some inventory so that I can then use that funds to buy more inventory. But the plan, if people are buying 100, to do it for 165. I think the next price break is 500. I will just tell you. So 165 if they order 100, 155 if they order 500, 149 if they order 1,000, 145 if they order 2,500 plus. So I have very few customers that typically order the 2,500. Most of my customers probably order 100 to 500. I do have a hospice company that usually orders about 2,000 pens every 6 months, and then I have a dental office that usually orders about 1,000 pens every year. So that's like, the dental office always orders yellow, so I ordered I think 3,000 yellow, and the hospice company always orders navy blue, so I think I ordered 5,000 navy blue for that reason. Faisal, probably butchering your name, asks if I laser on my pens. Yep. I released a video about it just like a week ago, showing how I set it up and how it all works and all that fun stuff. Phase asks, are trade shows making a comeback for those big print jobs? More importantly, are you going to apply for the permit to bid on jobs for the public schools? So my public school, typically they don't have to bid out jobs, and most of their jobs fall under like the pricing required to do bidding. I do have one specific school that I work with a ton, but hopefully I'll be able to get a few more schools. In my area, it's all about knowing who orders, and it's getting in with those people. And so I'm in with the one school because my buddy is the student officer advisor, and his department is in charge of all the activities and all the stuff. And basically the agreement that we have for the most part is I will beat any other bid that he gets as long as it's within reason. But most of the time, if they have anything that requires, they have a certain, I make sure I win, as I always get the bids for them. And typically what I'm doing at that large quantity is apparel, and a lot of people like to use custom ink, so I always use custom ink as one of the bids, and I always get one other local supplier to bid it. And I actually have a buddy that owns a print shop like 5 cities away, so I'll have him bid it, and he has me do the same thing for his projects. So, but no, public schools, like that's how the bids work. I don't think we require permits. Tanisha's asking, how do I determine the MOQ for pens? Originally I was basing it off of just what my normal suppliers do. A lot of times, like Sage, ASI, Distributor Central suppliers, they'll have like their set quantities, but you can usually like order between them, or if you order less than, like there's a pen that I order for a franchise. Well, I used to order, they actually discontinued the pen. I used to order the pen for a franchise, and their minimum was $300, but you could pay a less than minimum fee of $40 and order whatever quantity you wanted. In my case, I will probably stick, my thought is either stick to 100 or do 25, because my rotary holds 24 pens and I always like to run one before I run the rotary, which makes it 25. So my thought is to maybe do an MOQ of retail of 25. If I were to do that, then I would obviously price it higher. I'd probably price them at $2 a piece, rather than the $1.65 for 100. So how's the embroidery business going? Still at home. Yes, it's still at home. I don't push it as much as I probably should. I don't not do the jobs, but I don't pressure the jobs. Right now I have 30 hats for one order, 50 hats for another order, and I think like 3 polos. So nothing huge. Vinyl will probably be one of my smaller, I guess in-house embroidery will probably be one of my smaller fields this year. The bigger orders I always outsource just because it doesn't make sense for bigger orders, but it's going well. I'm happy that I still have it. Faisal, I bought my pens off of Alibaba from Frank. Oh, I also have 2 hats for Bob that I keep forgetting because they're not on my list. I should put them on my list so I remember. I'll do that right now, Bob. I'm a horrible person. Hats for... Your hats are at least in the embroidery room. And my wife did ask me about that the other day. She's like, what am I supposed to put on these? Mike, what's up? Mike, you need to release some more videos. I think I missed Bob's mom, or like soccer mom comment. Every crafty soccer mom out there bought those eco tanks up, so there's never any stock. That's true. Bob saying I started with a $12 shirt, and now I have a 6,000 window vinyl order, and then 3 apparel fundraisers. It always, like, I would say that's one thing, like one advantage that I have with my business being like 12 years old, is that I just have random people that call me from random times and random moments and random things. So Dom is saying that that's how the schools work there. His buddy is the band director, and that's how he's getting jobs. Dom's also saying, do you do any work for Parks and Rec or other sports groups? I have one like private baseball team that I do stuff for. I don't do a lot. The Parks and Rec in my area all has, so in Utah we have a minor league team. I think they're called the Bees. I can't remember because they've changed their name. Like when I was little, they were the Buzz, and then they were the Stingers, and then, well, they were the Bees, then the Buzz, then the Stingers, and I think they're the Bees again. And I think the Astros or the A's are their major league team. Anyway, they're all branded. Like none of the Parks and Rec teams get, like, they all just get Bees uniforms basically in different colors, and then they get official sponsored hats and stuff. And then the soccer teams are all AYSO, just pre-purchased stuff. So there's not much as far as Parks and Rec in my area. And I have 2 hats for Bob. Tanisha, embroidery is super high demand in my area. It's my next big move. Embroidery probably does have a higher demand than I'm putting on it, but I like to make my margin, and like that's what's hard for me, because like even if I look, the guy that does my wholesale embroidery, like he's expensive on small numbers, which is why I like having in-house embroidery. But like if I'm doing 100 pieces and it's 5,000 stitches, he charges me $2.80. Like, I don't want to do that myself. If I can pay someone to completely do it for $2.80, yeah, like if I'm not including labor and I'm not including like machine time, I could do it for less, but that's why I like the little orders. Typically, my cutoff for in-house stuff is about 50 pieces. If it's 50 pieces or less, then I'll usually do it in-house. If it's more than 50 pieces, then I outsource it. Bull City Prints is wondering what brand of perf media I use. The only perf media I have printed on the HP latex is the stuff from Grimcrow, the Bright Line. I will find a link and put it in the chat. It was a bit of a pain. I used a generic perf profile and turned the temperature down, and then I also had to hold the front as it came out for the first little bit to provide some tension, but once it was down about 2 or 3 feet, then it seemed to be okay. I think I did the 50-50. I will just link all of the Brightline perf stuff, but it seems to be a common complaint with the Brightline stuff. Other people have said buy more expensive stuff and it will work better. Does seem to be okay. Let's see. Bob is answering questions to people. Tanisha's taking notes. Alan is saying that if anyone is interested in car mats, we do it in-house and can give you good brokerage pricing. Never even thought about it, but we should talk. Adrian, any advice on a new shop owner? I've been in business about 2 years. In the past 3 months, I've recently went full-time. Congratulations. Trying to build more clientele, but it's hard. Definitely agree with that. It can be difficult. Probably the best advice I could give you is start with family and friends. Make sure you reach out to them, let people know what you're doing, make sure you post on social media. Typically every area has business groups that are full of business owners, which is good to be able to post in those. Make sure, if you have a single piece of equipment or multiple pieces of equipment, find easy products or find products that are cheap for you to make that you can take out to people. So I've started to make tumblers for people that just have their logo on it. What's up, Levi? And just take them out to people, because if I can spend 20 bucks on a tumbler, which my cost isn't 20 bucks, but just say you're spending 20 bucks on someone, I typically take them a bag of popcorn, a postcard, and a tumbler, maybe some pens. Then it makes it really easy to get business from them. So the way you have to look at it is where do you want to spend your marketing money? And I try to talk to my own customers this way as well, is I would rather my customers spend more money on less items than less money on more items, because typically the cheaper items people don't keep. They throw them away. They end up not using them or not caring about them. And so if you do something that has more value, then they're likely to keep it. An example of this, we did some tumblers for a church group, and the pastor wanted to buy super cheap plastic tumblers, and I convinced him, I can discount it a little bit, but spend a couple more dollars and get the nicer metal tumbler, because people will keep it. People might keep the plastic one for a little bit, but if you're having these youth groups come, like, you might as well give them something that they're actually going to take home. They'll remember the experience. So that's typically what I try to recommend to people, is like, spend a little bit more money, which is why I have the soft touch pens. They're an expensive pen. Like, you can get a plastic Java liner for like 50 cents. So spend a little bit more money, spend it on something that someone will keep, that something that they'll use. Because I had a customer say they wanted the cheapest pen possible, and they had someone quote them like 15 cents for pens, and they were not from China. They probably originally were, but they were decorated here in the States. And I was like, I won't sell you that cheap of pen because I can't stand behind the quality. And they bought them from this other customer, and they came back to me and were like, you were right, we shouldn't have bought them, we wasted our money. So keep that in mind. Try to do things that like will make sense for customers. LV Junk and Hauling, thank you for the donation. That's super kind. Really appreciate that. Bull City says he has a question. Ask away. It might be down a little farther. Broto, where do you outsource your t-shirts from? I typically buy the t-shirts from Sanmar, SS, Alpha Broder, TSC, which I think was bought by one of them, AS Color, and a few others. And then there's a contract embroidery, or there's a contract screen printer a few cities away. There's a contract embroiderer a few cities away. And then I also will do either screen printer transfers or direct to film transfers. Kayatana is asking CO2 versus fiber, which one brings you more profit? The fiber will eventually bring me more profit, but since I've had CO2 longer, it has technically made me more. The CO2, I like having both. The CO2 is really good for tumblers. You can do tumblers on a fiber laser, but the downside to doing it is if you have the power setting too high, then it will not only eat through the coating, but it will also etch the metal. So it is not the best. You can do it, but I wouldn't. Tumblers, I do on CO2. Fiber, so far on fiber, I've decorated a belt, a like change keeper for like a restaurant, a journal, pens, keychain, a backpack, like a stupid expensive backpack, a $500 backpack that I was like, I don't want to do this. Let's see what else. A coin, a shovel. Released that video a few days ago. Yeah, just a bunch of random stuff. But CO2, I've done acrylic, leather, and tumblers. Mike said that he gave a 20,000 label order to Derek and he messed it up. That's no fun. The question is did he make it right? Gustos, nice, just checking your vid. I've been contemplating getting one. Bull City asked about the perf again. I answered that question. Mike says he messed up a $20,000 order, so he gave him a $50,000. Derek did a 30,000 piece order for me, and there was no mess up. So I have no complaints. Paul asks how I set up your in-house embroidery. I need more explanation of what you mean. Alan says he'll bring up the car mats in the Facebook group. Awesome. Uphill Cinema is my buddy Levi. He probably already left. Bob makes a really good point. One of the best thing you can do, I can't remember who asked, says they need advice as a new business owner. Adrian, one of the best things you can do is write things down, call people back, and answer your phone. And don't lie to people. Don't be like most of us who lie to people and say that things are in progress or they're in a different spot than they really are. And just tell the truth. If you're working on something and it's not done, or you need to do something, and just be honest with people. So Bob makes a really good point, but write it down. That's why I won't give pricing over the phone anymore. I require that all pricing be done in email so that both parties have it in writing and there's no question about anything. Muskie asks, what do I do with insubordinate employees? Muskie, you must know who Taylor is, because I told Taylor that he's being insubordinate. Why did I tell him that today? He was sitting on the couch waiting for the equipment. But I told him something. You must know Taylor. At least it wasn't, Mike, at least it wasn't a mess up on the job itself, but I can definitely see that mistake. It is, I would say that it's more common to see them rolled in 1,000, so I can definitely see them, like, I can see that being a problem. Cayetana asks, how do I efficiently quote jobs? So I have my pricing calculators, which are available on my website for most of the things that I do. I have them for all of the things that I do. I just might not necessarily have released them all. But basically, I will link it here in the chat, but I do everything as a cost plus profit. So I figure out what my cost of everything is so that I can then say, okay, if this is my cost, this is the profit that I want to make, add the two together, and that gives me what I sell it for. I am at the point that I would rather do nothing than do something for not enough money, unless it's fun. Like, I do have a customer that I don't always make money for the things that they bring me, and I do a lot of like prototyping for them, but it's a lot of fun. I get a lot of enjoyment from it, and they do randomly pay me decent amounts of money for somewhat stupid stuff. Like, they were the customer that I did backpacks for, and like I said, they're a $500 backpack, and they brought it over. They're the one, like, they brought the skateboard, the belt, and we were just playing, hey, how will it mark, will it work, because they're trying to decide if they want to do bulk runs of things or if there's things that they could decorate or do quickly. And they ended up liking the effect that the fiber laser had on the backpack, and so they brought 3 of them over and we decorated them. And so I was able, like, on their accord, they said, bill me $75 a backpack. Granted, to do the backpacks took 30-40 minutes, but $75 per backpack made up for the fact that I did this other prototyping stuff for them. So it's a good win-win, and it's fun for me. And he brings me treats. That's always a plus. Yeah, over the phone is bad. Like, I used to have a million sticky notes, and I would write people's names down, and I'd write their phone numbers, and then I'd lose it, and that'd be the day that they called. So I will not give pricing over the phone unless it is a standard job. If it is a standard job that I use my calculator, then I will. So, like, if someone's like, oh, what's a 5x5 sticker for 100 of them, then it's super easy to replicate. It's not something like, I had a guy that wanted a double-sided ACM panel. They were 3x4. I required to send him that via email because I don't do that all the time. I don't have my flatbed pricing fully like optimized. Bob is saying, for the people that are new, don't take rush orders if you're busy because you'll end up behind and it's hard to catch back up. That's where Bob is. Yes. So, like, I took a rush order today. They emailed me and said, hey, I know it's last minute. They run a yard sign company. So, like, it's happening. They're the ones, like, at least in my area, it's super popular to like get a big old sign that says happy birthday or happy fourth birthday or happy retirement. So they run a company that they put those in people's yard. They rent them to them. And they messaged me today saying they needed some underwater themed stuff for tomorrow's sign. Wasn't a big deal if I couldn't, but they'd love it if I could. I didn't have anything else to do today. And kind of my philosophy for rush orders is I will do it if I do not. I will do it for my same price if I do not have to come early, stay late, or force someone else to come early or stay late. If I have to sacrifice like time basically, then that's when I charge for a rush. But if I could fulfill their want, then that's what I do. Yep, Mike is just confirming that you should use pricing sheets or calculators like I do. It's very easy to do in Excel. So, yep, that's what I do. It makes it super convenient. It's always consistent. So, don't have to buy mine. You can make your own, but I think I sell my whole package, my bundle for $10. So. Mike says, "How are things going with the Canon flatbed?" I actually ran out of my first bag of whiting today, and I opened up the new bag, and there was a hole in it. So I messaged my supplier, and they're like, "It's outside of 30 days, but we'll see what we can do," which is frustrating to me because I would understand if they were like a next day ship to me, and I would also understand if like that's probably one of my bigger complaints about the Canon is the Canon does not tell you how much ink is in it. So unless you like physically check the bag to see, oh, yep, there's a lot of ink in it, then like me, the other day I ran out of yellow. Just, hey, we're trying to fill up, but you don't have any more ink. And so I had to overnight it, which sucked because then it increased the cost of the ink by like 40%. So like my latex ink, my supplier, if I order it tonight, it'll be here tomorrow before noon. If I ordered it tomorrow before 10, it would be here before 4. Something happened, a switch flipped, and now I'm yawning. But yeah, I can't buy my Canon ink locally, which is a pity. So it's going well though. I've been able to do quite a bit of work. Let's pull up my insights here and I can tell you. Dashboard. So far I've sold not as much as I should, but I've sold 7,000 with the flatbed. So it is at least making its own payment. It's not really profiting yet, but it is making its own payment, which I totally get. It makes sense. It happens, but like as an example, my large format, which is my HP latex, so far this year I've sold $14,000 with, and that thing is paid off. So that machine you can buy for $10,000, and this year I've already sold enough to have paid for the machine. Granted, it's top line sales, but takes a while for, at least for me, it takes a while to get into getting everything situated. That said, I've already sold 5,500 in laser goods this year, so some things are easier to sell than others. I do think that I will get a good boost just because it's political season, and so far I've been able to do quite a few short run, quick turnaround signs, like the yard signs, 18 by 24. I've had like 10 orders for just 10, which is awesome because it's one sheet, so it goes super quick. Bob said he took 4 card flags for retirements that were all needed for the weekend, told him $75 rush fee, and they all said yes. Sometimes that sucks. Mike asked if I'd seen the new Zonte flatbeds. I reached out to Zonte when I was looking at the water bottle printer, and they keep asking me if, like, they keep calling me, probably obnoxiously calling me, and they're like, oh, we're releasing a new flatbed, but I haven't looked at them. But I did know that they were coming. Wow, they came out with a full-size one. That's good for them. Yeah, they've always had baby ones, but now they've got the Zonte X98. Sweet. It'll do 3 inches tall, which is nice. Mine only does 2 inches. It's got 4 white channels. Mine only has 2. Cool. Yeah, toner and ink right now is kind of a joke. I think the thing that I hate most about the Canon is that the ink only has like a 6-month shelf life anyway, and so it's not fun. My white technically expired, but it lets you ignore the expiration for 30 days, and luckily it ran out today, so I wasn't feeling too terrible. But the reason I ran out of white was because I got a job that was all white, and I screwed up the job, so then I had to use more white. So, Printer Tom says, Darren, love your stuff. You sell the flatbed, get a CWT work table, not enough runtime. Plus you have Firesprint for long runs. It's true. I probably should sell the flatbed. But I told myself that I would give myself more time to get sales, because the biggest disadvantage that I have done to myself is I'm so busy with all of my equipment that I'm not pushing the flatbed. So it's my fault. It's my fault for everything, but I wanted to give myself more time so that I could build up sales, because most of what I do is not large run. That's why I do use Firesprint for long runs. I'm quoting out a 300 piece order, and I'm not doing it myself. This is not worth it. But for 10, 20, 30, someone needs it, a couple days, yeah, I'll do it. On the sticker files, does the cut contour need to be its own layer, or just name cut contour? I have always done it as its own layer, but I don't know. I know it does need to be called cut contour, but there's no space. Cut contour cut, or I don't know. Didn't I send you an example? Follow the example. I'm pretty sure it's its own layer. So the influencer that I'm working with, I'm trying to get into doing more of their stuff. They use a company that does all of their fulfillment, and they also do all their screen printing. And typically every couple of months they do a $30,000-$40,000 screen printing job, and that's just the screen printing, because my customer provides the blanks to them. And so I'm trying to convince them to let me kind of take that over. That would definitely be a whale of a customer, and would take some figuring out, and it would probably require me to immediately hire another person, and it would probably fill up more space than I have here in this entire shop. So it would be somewhat of a logistical figure out, because I would definitely have to stack stuff to the ceiling and figure out how to optimize storage. But the people that rent the space that have the wood here, I did give them their 90-day notice that they've got to be out. So they occupy about 1,000 square feet of my shop. My shop is 3,000 square feet total, and so I am, in essence, going to reclaim the last 1,000 square feet of the shop. You can do whatever you want, Bob, and if it doesn't work, I'll fix it. Printer Tom says he's in the same spot with a digital die cutter. Yes. So I just don't think, yes, I can sell it, I can lose a little bit of money, get it off the floor, but I just feel like I have to give myself enough time to know that it's worth like that that loss, because it is paying for itself. It's not harming me to be here. If it wasn't paying for itself, that would be a different story. But it is paying for itself, and it does allow me to do a lot of random things. Like today I printed on a coin because my customer wanted to see what it would look like as a potential to do a couple thousand of them. I'm also using it. I ordered some gift cards, and I only had them print one side, and I'm going to do the variable data myself on the back side. So I actually was working on some templates today. Just walk over there and show you here real quick. So I was working on these templates. So you can see this is the card. So it's got printing on one side. So that way I can fill up. There's 50 on a template. I made 2 templates. Those were my tests that were fails. So that way I can put 50 on a thing, load it up, print them all at once. So it does allow me to do random stuff like this that I wouldn't be able to do otherwise, or I'd have to outsource and not make as much money. Like that's one of the jobs that's not even in the CRM yet, so it doesn't account for. But there's always ways to do it without it. I could have always bought a Zante, or something similar that was a smaller footprint that could do stuff like that, or even something that would do 1 yard sign at a time. But go big or go home. So, what's up, Tim? I have to like stop myself from buying the Duplo laminator that Tim has. It's freaking awesome. Mike is saying fulfillment is where I need to go. And they would be a great customer. They have a big customer. They do a ton of fulfillment for one big order for like 20, 30,000 to produce a year supply, and we charge shipping, handling. Yeah, so the way that my customer currently pays for the fulfillment is that's part of the reason why I think I can get it, because when an order comes in, they have to pay $6.50 for every item. So if an order has 3 items, they pay $6.50 times 3. And they were, like, around Christmas time able to negotiate it down, so it was $6.50 plus like $2 a thing, but now it's gone back up. I was cheaper, like I bid their last screen printing job, I bid doing it. I should say I bid to have my outsource people do it, and I was cheaper, but they didn't want to give me the job because they didn't want to then take all of the shirts to their fulfillment company to be like, hey, we had these printed somewhere else. So they're working on that. I'm hoping to be able to kind of bring some of that in or get some of the work, but time will tell. I am trying though. So that's one of those things that if I could land them completely, then like that one customer alone would be able to pay for most of my shop. And then everything else would kind of be supplemental. So Steven says hello from Texas. Tim is in Wisconsin. All right, that's all the questions. Do we have more? Printer Tom says he really likes the IQ software, especially for addressing. I have heard that the IQ software is pretty neat. You can buy the IQ software and use it with other printers, but you have to pay a licensing fee to get it. I haven't played with it myself. For addressing, I've always just used the Konica, or I guess Fiery's software. They have a product, I think it's called FormFill, Freeform. Oh, let's see here. What is it called? Fiery Freeform Create. And it's free with my Fiery, so that's what I've always used for variable data. Or I just make it in, if it's small enough, I'll just make it in Illustrator and export a million different PDFs and merge them together. Oh, Mike answered my question. Freeform. So Printer Tom is saying that the PDF output is not very good with the IQ software. Video Master says, I still need to reply for the cost of cutting those cardstock squares. Did you sell that eye color? I am thinking about selling mine. I gave my eye color away to a subscriber, and they're not a subscriber anymore. We'll leave it at that. Video Masters is asking what a good price for a Fiery is. I don't know because mine came with mine. So I don't know. I bought the floor model and it came with more bells and whistles than I probably needed, but I got it for a really good deal. So that's why I did it. Video Masters, I will find your email and respond to you. So Mike and Printer Tom are saying that it can be $20,000, $30,000, or $40,000. Bob, I am sorry. I am sorry that I convinced you to buy an eye color white toner. I'm sorry for anyone that I convinced to do that. I'm really sorry. It worked. I actually saw one of my customers today that still wears and has one of the shirts that I made with white toner, and it looks okay. But again, it's just a little left chest logo. So, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Bob. JC is saying, sorry if I'm repeating my question again. I don't know if you answered. My phone died. Why can't you into embroidery? And they say that you completely stopped doing. Okay, JC, I don't understand the question. Could you say it again? Yeah, I definitely, Video Masters, I would only get a Fiery if you're buying it with a machine, or like maybe finding one on eBay. You can probably get one for pretty decent. But Fiery, they're limited on what printers they do. Like, they don't work with everything. But I'm sure they work with a lot. But I know, like, not every Fiery would work with my printer. Okay, JC, sorry, the white toner machine, my bad. What do you think about doing a DTF? Would you start transitioning into that? I myself, as a blind person, I want to get into embroidery. What do you think about the 20 needle Ricoma? So I personally would not buy a Ricoma. I have not ever dealt with the company myself. I know some other people have, and have not had good experiences. But I also, I had my SWF, which is a more traditional embroidery machine, and I don't like dealing with tension, and it was too much of a game for me to play top versus bottom and getting that all set correctly, and I don't have that problem with a Melco. So the Melco is easy to run because basically for the tension on the top, it's software driven, and you tell it how much to feed. So you tell it to feed 10 millimeters or 6 millimeters or whatever. They have the range, and they train you how to do it. But I would never go back to a traditional embroidery machine again, regardless of the brand. But you can read Bob's comment. JC Productions, I did not stop embroidery. I still do embroidery, and I have my Melco. I stopped white toner because I didn't want to do one-off shirts and spend the amount of money I was spending with white toner, and that's one thing that I felt like I was misled on, was the cost. When I did the math for how much toner I ended up using for how many sheets, it was expensive. I think to replace all the toner, it cost me about $1,000, and I had done 400 sheets, so toner spend was $2.50 per page, plus you're spending about $4 for the sheet, so $6.50 for a sheet just wasn't what I wanted to do for how finicky it was. I'd spend that money all day if the process was better and worked better and washed better and had better properties, but Melco, Tanisha, is Melco. I have them linked in the description of all the videos. My sales rep was Todd. If you do use Todd, then I do receive a commission, but don't feel like you have to, or even buy the machines I recommend. Printer Tom, referring to the Fiery, saying don't buy an internal or on-board one. They're terrible for transparencies and very limited for like pad printing and other processes. Cayetana, I may have missed your answer. Kids are loud. Did you say if you add any of your company info? Oh, no. I saw that question and somehow I missed it. No. I put, when I take the tumblers and give them to people, I put their logo on it. So I brand it with their information. I brand, like, sometimes I'll do stickers, sometimes I'll do pens now. I'll do a tumbler or two, and I'll take it to them with a bag of popcorn and a postcard. Um, it has more value to them if it has their information on it, and it's something that they will 100% keep. I always do just the 30 ounce tumbler because this is the one that I stock, so I'll just do one or two of those. But yeah, I do their business if I can, just because it means more. It shows more interest. Yeah, it might take more time, and I might have to vector their logo or find their logo or do something, but I would rather spend more money to market myself specifically than less money and do like a mass broadcast. Like, I would, like, I've had people approach you, oh, pay $500 and we'll put you on a list of 20 people on a pizza box. No, not worth it. I would rather do one tumbler that cost me $50 than do a mass thing that goes out to random people that I don't have control over. Steven asked if I ever switched my business model over to subscription. I am still trying to. I have not successfully gotten anyone there yet, but I am still trying. Video Masters is asking if there's a good place to buy materials for DTF. That depends on what printer you have to print it. I would typically just recommend buying it from your manufacturer. Someone's here. Hold that thought. I don't know who it is. Buyer's print. Hold on.
You a gift. I watched your live stream and he was so tired. He was yawning. I was at Maverick, so I had to bring him an energy drink. He needed one.
I was really confused. I was like, someone is here. Someone is knocking.
Also, I'm musky.
You're musky. Taylor's musky. Why did I call you insubordinate today?
I don't know.
For some reason.
I
remember where I was. I was over at you were on the couch and I was at the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Over.
Who knows?
Just say hi to Taylor. Hi, Taylor.
Hi, Taylor.
That's better. Are you going to hang out or are you leaving?
I'm going to hang out.
What are you going to do?
By hang out, I mean I'm stealing.
All right, close the garage when you're done. Taylor ate all the Rice Krispie treats. I found them in the garbage today. I just told him. All right, now I have to remember where I was. Sorry for the random interruption. I was really confused. Video Masters, DTF, buy it from them. JC says quite a bit of places that you can get it. DTF material, best place to buy DTF is from STS. I think they have a printer that's a rebranded Muto. JC says he has a P800. Steven asked if I do tumblers in-house. I do not do that. Well, I do them in-house, but I don't do them in-house. My CO2 laser is at my nephew's, and I have him do them, and I pay him piece rate. So yes, but no. Bye, Taylor.
Come on.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for coming.
So yes, I was thinking about selling the CO2 laser, but then my brother approached me about having my nephew do it. So we ended up taking the CO2 laser to his house. It's in their garage, and he runs it. So yes, I do them in-house, but not really. That's true. It could be the feds. Glad it was just Taylor. I'm glad no one swatted me. There are lots of witnesses for my murder. Tim is asking if I have experienced any supply chain issue with the products that I do in-house. The biggest supply chain problems I have are paper. I'm doing okay right now. I call typically once a week to see if they have 130 pound, because that's what I use for, like, that's what I probably print the most of, because I use postcards, business cards, really almost everything I do. And then 100-pound text. I do a lot of 100-pound text stuff. And then the only thing that I haven't been able to get for a long time is 60-pound paper, like 60-pound text, like just regular uncoated. I have like 2/3 of a box left, but Veritiv in my area has 13 by 19 in stock right now, but I want 12 by 18. They said hopefully within the next few weeks they'll have some. I like Veritiv better because their pricing is cheaper, but I don't like Veritiv as much because they require $500 minimum every purchase, versus Kelly Spicer, I can just buy whatever. But so the other thing, like some apparel has been painful. Pens I got out of China, it's not a supply issue, they just took like 3 months to get here. Let's see here. Let's log into Alibaba. Orders. I will tell you. Seriously, Alibaba has the worst like security measures. Every time, we're gonna send you an email so that you can type in this code and you have 60 seconds. Let me just use my authenticator app. Okay, so the pens. I ordered the pens on February 23rd, and they just showed up like 2 days ago. I think Friday is when they got here. And then I also ordered pens on the 15th. They also showed up at the same time. So, okay, it seemed longer than it was. Oh, that's when they were shipped. They were shipped on February 24th. When did I order them? I don't know. Somewhere around then. I also ordered wallets. So the things that I ordered to decorate in-house, I ordered pens, wallets, and coins, and keychains. And they're all here. I do not think I'm waiting or anything else. Oh, I am waiting for some of the wallets because I ordered a special kind and they didn't have them in stock, but the other ones they had in stock, so they shipped those immediately. So I am still waiting for that. So no real supply chain issue there, but paper, some apparel. I haven't had issues with hats because I bought everything that I need, and I still have like 1,000 or more. I probably bought too many. But yeah, I think that's it. Mike, it's your fault. I'm out of 130. I'll just come over to your shop and take some. Steven is saying that S&S finally got some hats this week. Wouldn't be surprised if they're already gone. Trying to see where my other wallets are. I know they've been shipped. They shipped them via DHL. Ooh, I think they're in Cincinnati. It says they're supposed to be here by the 8th. Friday. Sweet. JC says, look at it this way, at least you're teaching your nephew how to be an entrepreneur before he and I didn't know if I was really graduated from high school. Yeah, so he is in high school, which is nice. And it's nice for him because he can just do his homework while he runs it, and I just pay him piece rate, so I don't have to pay him per hour. And originally we were thinking about making it so that like he was working off the machine, but at this point he said he would rather just have money, so it'll probably stay my machine. JC is also asking if I see myself getting a DTF printer, or just stick with the home-based printers. I probably will get one, but who knows? Bob is saying that all the hats in S&S are gone already. Because people like me who need them buy 1,000 or 2 and just sit on them. But yeah, I probably will get a DTF or a DTG printer in the future. We'll see. I have 2 new pieces of equipment coming already, so I have a problem. I have lots of problems. I told myself I wasn't going to buy any equipment this year, and I've already bought 1, 2, I think 4. It's terrible. Plus I want to buy another fiber. Thanks, Mike. Have a great night. Thanks for jumping on. Closing all my tabs. Bob, I am insane. I gotta buy more equipment because you won't buy any. Yeah, I have room, but I shouldn't. But the most recent purchase is a laminator, and I've held off getting one for a long time, and I just need one. So that one was more purchased out of necessity because I just keep having more and more customers that want matte laminate on stickers and stuff. So I ended up buying, it's a 64-inch, just a China brand. I didn't feel like spending $5,000 on one, so I just got, I think it was like $2,000 or something. And that is supposed to be here tomorrow. Ooh, it's chilly. Ever since I opened that garage, it's a little colder in here. I turned the heat off earlier today. It was snowing earlier this morning. And when I got into work, it was about 50 in the shop, so I turned the heat on. But I let it run until I got to like 66, and then I turned it off, and it's probably getting back down there again. So, Video Masters is saying he needs a 48 by 48 heat press. If I were to get a 48 by 48 heat press, I would also need to get a sublimation printer, and I would need to find a good supplier of blankets and pillowcases, because I would want to sell custom blankets and pillowcases. Bob refuses to spend $120 on the air system for the X tool. How is the X tool going? Did you ever decorate the tumbler like you said you were on the Facebook group? Speaking of which, if you guys are not in the Facebook group, we got some good activity going on there. Make sure you go join. It should be in the description of the video. Make sure you go there. Lots of fun stuff happening. Whoop, my chair lock. Let's see, I'll get the Facebook link and throw it in the chat. You could probably search print fan with an exclamation point, but I'll throw it in the chat. Lilia and Max, based on your experience, which white toner printer would you recommend to start a custom apparel side business? None of them. I would not suggest buying a white toner printer for a custom apparel business. If I were going to start a custom apparel business, I would start with sublimation, doing white t-shirts, even potentially doing all over transfers on white t-shirts. So basically, like Video Masters is saying, getting a 48 by 48, you wouldn't need that big, but getting a bigger heat press and doing all over sublimation. If I were going to start a custom business and it was absolutely necessary that I have the printer to print it in-house, I would probably do DTG. Like my buddy Spencer, I've got a video on his Omni print machines. That's probably the direction I would go, is DTG / DTF. I would not do the white toner printer. The white toner printer, like I bought this 600, and I think I paid about $7,000 for it, and it's just not a good investment. You can get cheaper printers, you can get printers that are more expensive that do a better job, that allow for better customization, more customization. Did it serve its purpose for me at its time for what I needed? Yeah, but I don't recommend them anymore. Yeah, you can get DTF printers for as cheap as like $3,000 from China. I probably wouldn't suggest that as your first go around, but you can also just buy transfers. Like I am contemplating offering transfers with 1 to 2 day turnaround. I actually posted about it in the Facebook group because I want to make sure that it's worth the time to do, but also worth like the money that you would spend on it. So yeah. There's also, like Dom saying, like check out Light. They have their DTG section. You can buy super color transfers. You can buy screen printed transfers. You can find someone local that sells transfers. You can use Shirt Hub. They do screen print transfers. I think his name is Ali. He's got a Cornet DTG printer. He's in the Facebook group. I know he'll do wholesale work, DTG. So there's a lot of options. But no, I wouldn't buy a white toner printer. Yeah, like Bob said, I would do what I did initially. Outsource everything. Get sales, get some work, get some experience, then determine what product that you might want to buy. Steven, I'm toying back and forth between UV and latex. White ink. Would you have any thoughts on either of those print technologies? I recently did white ink on the UV. Worked great. I have heard mixed reviews on the new latex printers with the white ink, the 700 and 800. Just some bugs that they're having and quirks with the machines. I've been told they are working them out, and usually after you've had the machine for a little bit, then the bugs are resolved, but it's not like the 300 series or the 500 series of latex where they just were great from the get-go. I know someone in the group even bought the 700, and one of the issues they were having was there was a firmware problem which was causing the white ink to bleed, which was causing problems and causing ink to run out, and but they do work. I don't mind it on the UV. The UV definitely has a lot more maintenance, a lot. I gotta basically run and clean the heads every day, and on the weekend it usually takes a few times. Latex is definitely easier, so hopefully they can get those bugs figured out. My next roll printer will not have white in it, just because I have it on the flatbed. But Fidel says he has the Brother GTX, and it is great as long as you have the business. Otherwise, it's a big bill each month because of the wasted ink. If you're running it, it works great. If you're not running it, you can have problems. JC is saying that they'd love to know more about the tumbler portion of the X tool. So I will see if I can get with Bob to get some more information on that. But obviously after this weekend, when he finishes his rush order, what has put him way behind. Yeah, consumables can bite you in the butt. I know every day, if I don't run the flatbed, just in ink loss, it's not nearly as much as what like DTGs and stuff are, but just ink loss alone from cleaning the heads and printing, it cost me a couple bucks. By offset, am I cutting right on the design? If I'm cutting on the design, I usually like a 1/16 of an inch, or no, an 1/8 of an inch, but 1/4 of an inch, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Usually it's pretty accurate. Video Masters is saying the new Epson 2100 keeps self-cleaning and runs great. So, yeah, I know every year technology gets better and better. Every year. What's up, Steve? I know I saw your response on Facebook, but I have not had a chance to respond back. All right, guys. Any other questions? Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Bob, how would you have time for that? You gotta make your signs, make your flags. Miranda, if you are one of the people in the chat and just requested to join the Facebook group, you did not answer the questions and you will be denied access. So make sure you go answer the questions. You will automatically be denied after 1 hour, even though your profile looks like you are a legit person. I try to keep the group clear from spam. I even have one person that's in the pending acceptance. I'll get your guys' opinion. Their name is Alice. I don't believe it, but they're a supplier from China and think they could help. They saw my videos on YouTube and are a fan now. Should I let them in the group? I'm worried about letting them in the group, and I direct message them asking them what value they think they could provide. But you tell me if you think I should let Alice join the group. Have a good night, JC Productions. There was a spammer. I do remember Bob. I did ban them. Can I see who I've banned? I probably can. Bob is the #1 contributor to the group. He has the most comments. I don't know how to, oh, here we go. Top contributors. I think it's for the last 30 days. Bob is #1. He has had 1 post and 74 comments. CJ is next with 6 posts and 38 comments. Valentine is 3rd with 8 posts and 23 comments. Tim, if you're still in the chat, you're #7. Alan, I think you were in the chat earlier. You're #6. I agree. I was thinking that the other day when I looked at it. I figured most of yours were your sarcastic comments. JC says I should not let them in. I probably won't let him in. It's true. That sticker is a limited edition, Tim. I don't think I'm gonna make any more. I think I found the posters though. sister helped me clean up the other day because she was being nice because I was making her some notepads. I told her I was not going to charge her. I wonder if she was like, what the crap are these? Well, I found them. The OG print fam with signatures. Cam, myself, and Bob. I can't remember why I made them, but they were all signed, all ready to go. They are just here. Yeah, I liked it. I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty for me. Like, Cam wanted the Joker, Cam wanted the headset, Bob wanted to be Hulk, and I didn't really care what I was, but I wanted my face, which I feel like that's a pretty good representation. Penji made this. Have a good night, JC. Oh, Fidel, you forgot to answer the questions. Oh, Melody answered them. Melody, you are accepted. Oh, Miranda, you answered the questions. Good job. Welcome. Fidel, make sure you answer the questions, even though I know you're in the chat. Steven says Penji's awesome. I agree. I currently have, I think, 6 projects in there. 5 projects. So yeah, they're working on, I'll just tell you what they're working on. So I've got a customer that wanted 30 shirts, and they sent me PNG logos. I'm going to turn them into DTF, and I wanted them to be vectored so they looked cleaner because they were a little fuzzy. So Penji is redrawing those. People always get confused of where my building is, and so I'm having them make a sign for the garage door that Taylor knocked on. I have a customer that they are doing a promotion and need some postcard design, so that's 2 of the orders. They're doing 2 different postcards. And then I have a customer that wants to get ready for the 4th of July parade, and they are gonna make a design for that. So that is what they're working on. ProColor, Penji is my design service. So they are like Design Pickle or all the other millions of people that do graphic work. I have been signed up for them for 3 or 4 years. I just put an affiliate link. I think you get 15% off your first month, but you also get a trial if you sign up. They have legit told me that I am their favorite customer. I did a conference call with them three or so months ago, basically telling them all my complaints about the platform, and I did that probably 6 months prior to that and like a year prior to that, and they tend to always fix them. Like, they've done all of my suggestions. Like, one of my complaints was that they would always forget to include the font files, and so now that's one of their standard procedures, is they include all the font files. And they're working on adding an option so that you can pick whether or not you want to bleed on something. But yeah, it's super awesome. I pay for their higher tier, so I have 2 active projects at a time, and it's totally worth it. It has paid for itself. Like the postcards that they will do, it'll probably take them 1 revision, and then I'll probably do some tweaks, and in essence it'll cost me $20, but I charge the customer $40. The parade shirt, I'm not going to charge anything for. The t-shirts, I built in $50 to do artwork into the t-shirt bid. Let's look at some of the past ones. They're remaking a flyer for me. I did not charge for that, but it's a 10,000 piece flyer order, so I don't really care. They made some stickers for Cameron. They did another shirt redraw for me, which I charged them, I think, $40 for that artwork. They did some vector stuff for me, which I charged the customer $20 a piece. They designed a logo, which I charged $300 for. So I like it. I feel that it's worth it. Fidel, since you're in the chat, and I know you're a real person, I will approve you. But I am declining Alice. Bob, I would love if they dropped their price to $30 a month. I end up paying that almost per day. Does that answer your question, Pro Color, of what Penji is? Bob, you're welcome. I'll send a job to Penji for you. It's penji.co. I put my affiliate link in the chat. Like I said, I think it gets you like 10 or 20% off. So they have their pro tier, which is $4.99 a month, and you have a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you do get a 1-month trial. They have a $6.99 a month, which that is the tier that I am on. Sort of. And then they have the daytime tier, which is $1,000 a month, and you get US daytime designers rather than most of their designers are in the Philippines. But I like it because I can send them a request like tonight, and by the time I get to work tomorrow, it's there. And sometimes I have to tweak it a little bit, but that's no big deal. So it, like, the cycle works really well for me. I don't think I would like the daytime designers. I like the nighttime designers that like submit the job. When I get to work tomorrow, I have the revision. So I like it. So everything is just done through their website, Tim. So basically, let's see if I can show you here. Whoa. It's way too... So, oh man, it's freaking out. Autofocus. I apologize. Maybe if I put my hand up here. Okay, there we go. So you have active projects, which, like I said, I have 2 that I can have, which they consider a revision. They consider a revision an active job, but they also give you 1 revision. So you can actually theoretically have 3 on my plan. And then these are the ones that are in the queue. So as soon as the job is done, you can mark it, you can change it. You can come into the job, they have all the terms of the job, and then you can see it. You can mark on it if you want any changes. But like you can come here and you can add a new job, which you give it a title, you can pick a category. So like we can pick a logo, and it will ask you questions. You can upload a file, you can specify what, like whether you want it Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign, what have you. Like if you do t-shirts, so let's do clothing, then it lets you pick what it is. So this is when I was talking to them, I was talking to them about some of the modifications to make to the categories. Because like postcards, you can pick a size. They have the common 4x6, 5x7, 5.5 by 8.5, but they don't by default have bleed. And so having the option to be able to do bleed. And then the other nice thing is you literally have an archive of all your projects. So you can go back forever. So super nice. I don't have all of my projects because this is dashboard 2.0, and they were not able to transition everything from their original system. So I don't have like my OG stuff, but I love it. It's invaluable to me. It's worth every penny. Steven is asking if Penji got rid of the project manager. I only have the team leader and designer instead of the 3. I don't know. I think I have a project manager. I ignore most of the emails that I get because that was one of the things that I told them. I'm like, stop emailing me, because you make a project, you get an email. So like I made a project and it went in the queue, I got an email. As soon as it goes out of the queue into an active, I get an email. As soon as, I think it's a project manager. Let's see. Gabe. Yep, so Gabe is my project manager. So Gabe reads what it is and summarizes it, and then the designer, so I get an email when Gabe gives his summary, and then like Rensley, I get an email when he replies to it, and then I get another email for when like the project is there. And I was like, I want to be able to turn off all the emails that I get. So hopefully they will add that, because like sometimes they're good because it's like, Darren, this is Gabe, you forgot to upload the file that you wanted us to like mimic or vector or whatever. So sometimes it's like useful, but most of the time it's like, I don't. But it's like, that's what they train their designers to do. They train them to make sure they reply because they want that communication. It's good. But for me, it's like, I know what I use Penji for. It's awesome. I don't need all the other fluff. Like, just let it be. So, yes, Steven gave us my project manager. I still deal with Gabe. Tim says, how do you communicate art revisions then? So, my tripod failed. So, like, this is the design that they vectored, which made me mad because I wanted them to do both of them, and they only did the one. I can click here and say, no, change this to this color, or change this to that color. Or I can just back here on this page, type a comment to say, hey, this is what I want you to do. But this is the first revision of the design. I can specifically call out a section here by clicking anywhere. It leaves a marker, or like I said, you can just leave a comment. You can also download it right now. You can download a preview, like a JPEG, or you can download like the working file, which is, in my case, almost always Illustrator, is what I have them make. But usually when you get it, especially if it's a design like the flyer design, they include the Adobe stock photo, if there is one. They include any relative assets. They include the font files. So it's all bundled in just a zip download, and it's super easy to communicate back and forth any changes. Like, let me go find one that is a so like this one, if I go into the original design, like the only changes the customer wanted was text, and I was just too lazy to do it, and so I submitted it. And like they literally did the exact text that my customer submitted. My customer just changed his mind. And so you can just leave little notes for them to revise it. But you can do the same thing, change this color, I don't like that, change this, do that. So I like it a lot. It's worth every penny. Yes, Chorley, however you say your name, that's like legit. A lot of times when it is just something simple like that text-wise, like the next revision, I don't know if I made the mistake or they did. Let me see. Yeah, they made the mistake. So they were supposed to change the text to take your great burger experience to a higher level, and they didn't get the space for experienced and two. And then rather than submitting again, I just downloaded the file, corrected it myself. I do that all the time, especially if it's like something simple, or if it's just a color change, or it's just, I want that moved 2 inches that way. Other than that, everything is perfect. Then yeah, you do get the source files, and it is awesome. If you were paying JC Pro, if you were paying $1,000 a month, like think about it, like the way that I think about it is it costs me about $40 a day, like $40 per working day. I can't hire a designer to work in-house for that cheap. No, they don't work as much as an in-house designer is, but in essence, I get 2 files from them a day. So let's say that was an hour or 2 worth of work from a designer. I can't pay a designer that much. Plus, I'm at the point in my business that I don't need a designer full-time for that. So for me, for what I do, it's way cheaper than hiring someone. Yeah, $1,000 or $700 is a lot of money, but like I did a logo for someone, and it was a single revision from Penji and a single project. So in essence, it cost me $20. I charged the customer $300. So the return for that one job alone paid for half of the month bill. So to me, it's worth it. I like it. I'm going to continue to do it. I know people like Bob think I'm crazy, but it saves me so much time, especially like that table tent. Like I'm not that, like I can modify things, but I'm not creative. And so being able to just depend on them is super nice. I've had him do sticker cut lines before too, on like some complicated projects that like Flexi just was not getting right, and to be able to just send, hey, I need you to make a cut line for this, It's way nice. Way nice. Highly, like, I can't, like, they legit have told me that I'm their favorite customer, which is hilarious. I'm also their longest standing customer. I wonder if I can look. I think I'd have to look at my credit card to see if it'll go back far enough. Because I can just look at QuickBooks. Well, I already got my credit card open. Let's search. We are gonna search. Oh, it'll only let me go back to April 2020 on that. So, all right, QuickBooks, it is. Let's go. See how long. And I did start out with the lower tier. I switched when I started having more and more projects, especially when I had Bob. We were using it way more. Like, we had way more jobs in the queue when Bob was here, and sometimes we'd fight over it because we both would have stuff that were like, no, I need it. And so that's when I finally was like, yeah, I am gonna pay. So I have been paying, at least according to QuickBooks, for Penji since July of 2019. And I have paid them about $17,000. So I don't think that's terrible. Because, like, the way that I look at it, like, if you're on their pro tier, which it was cheaper when I first signed up, it was closer to $300. If you're paying $4.99 and you have 20 working days a month, because they'll sometimes work the weekends and you'll sometimes get projects on the weekend, but they typically just work 5 days a week. Then you're paying $24.95 a day. You get, at least from what I understand, you get one active project, and I don't see why you wouldn't get the revision like I do. So theoretically, you're paying $25 a day for a new project and a potential revision to a second project. So theoretically, that price could be in half if you're looking at it of like labor and work wise. Then you're paying $12.50 to have someone make some artwork revisions. Sometimes it's really worth it for what they're doing. It's really worth, like, that logo. Like I said, I sold it for $300 versus the t-shirt stuff. I typically sell it for $40, $50 to get their artwork ready for printing. But in reality, like, I don't charge people artwork for all of the jobs. Like I said, the flyer, they're ordering 10,000 flyers. So I'm gonna make the artwork so I can get the job. Because they sent me a picture and they're like, oh, did you do this one? No, I didn't, but I'll just make it for you. Then it alleviates the pain from them and makes it a lot easier. And they're like, oh, well, we just need to change the name. So just update the phone number and we'll be good to order. So to me, it's worth it. But like I said, I'm on the higher tier. So I'm paying about $17.50 per thing. If you look at it of 2 designs, if you're looking at 2 designs plus a revision, then I'm paying $11.65 per like thing. Like I said, if you use my affiliate link, you do get like 10% off, or you get something. I don't know what it is. It keeps changing. You also can save money if you pay quarterly or yearly, which honestly, that's not terrible. I should maybe think about doing that. It would go down to $525 a month if I paid them up front. All right, well, any other questions? Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Bob, are you working? You said you were doing the calibration for your tumbler thing. How's it going? I dropped a battery. It's lost forever. I farm out all my screen printing. I do not feel that it is worth doing screen printing in-house myself yet. That might change, but right now I got a really good guy, Jose. Jose does my screen printing and he does a great job, and he even accommodates my stupid rushes at times. I do have a job right now that is hoodies that I'm contemplating just doing DTF rather than screen printing because they want names on the back and everyone has a different name. So I'm contemplating, do I just DTF the whole design or do I screen print the design and then apply the DTF? And then I've got another job that is DTF because it's only like 12 pieces, and then I've got another job that is in Penji getting vectored right now that I'm for sure doing DTF because it's 5 color front, 5 color back, and there's 30 of them, and that's not worth screen printing. I'm able to do the DTF for less than I'm paying for screen setup. Fidel, that's awesome to know. I've contemplated, if I made a spot on the website where people could list, like if they were a contract decorator or like offered a specific service, like Bob if you wanted to offer CNC services, or Fidel if you wanted to like let people know that you're a contract screen printer, or like Ahmed, I think is his name, that has the Cornete DTG, like would that be of interest to you guys to have kind of a directory of people that you could buy services from? Would that, like, I don't want to put the work into doing it if you guys won't find value from it. Bob doesn't want to offer CNC services. He wants to use someone else's CNC services. Okay. So everyone so far thinks it's a good idea. What, like, should I just let people pick whatever and just list whatever as far as, hey, I'm willing to do stickers, or I'm willing to do screen printing, or I'm willing to do, or should I have like specific like requirements, I guess? Because like Bob's lazy and doesn't do his own stickers. I do most of Bob's stickers. Bob should sell more stickers. I'm texting from my watch. My wife just said they're home. I'm asking if they found the dog. But Bob, you could have a printer. So, should there be any specific requirement? Like, I guess, how should I vet them? Or should I vet them at all? Or should I just say, here are potential people that could help you. I have no affiliation with them. Or, like, do I require them to send me an example? Or do I require people to pay just to weed out people just listing? Like, these are all, like, what would you do? And they did not find the dog, by the way. So that is not good. I wonder if they checked the pound. I'm fine if people, like, I don't want people in the Facebook group to just be like, hey, I'm selling this, because I don't want the Facebook group to get, like, just full of that stuff. I'm fine if, like, someone is requesting, like, as an example, hey, I'm looking for a contract decorator, and, like, Fidel saying, hey, I'm a contract decorator in New Jersey. I'm not, like, against that, but, ooh, I like that, Bob. A tested and proven list, heard good things about list, and a use at your own risk list. I think the Discord has a... The Discord is not used as much as Facebook. I do have a buy and sell, a supplier help. No, but I don't have a direct, like a services. So yeah, we could add one there. I think starting out, I'll just make it simple and just say, these are people that are a part of the print fam using your own risk, and maybe work on some other options. Because, like, even for me, I'd rather use some of you guys if I can, for services. Like, I use Derek for labels rather than a Melco because I could, and I'd rather support Derek than a bigger business. I appreciate that Bob uses me for stickers and a couple of other people. I'm not the best at all services, but there's some things that I can do pretty good. I just don't want, like, I don't mind if it's a page. I just don't want the group to turn into, hey, I'm selling this, I'm telling that. I did like Friday's post, though, last week, where we all shared our screw-ups. It's good to know we're all human. For those that recently joined the Facebook group, make sure you go check out last week's. Jeff, you didn't answer the questions. Good thing it says you're video masters, so I will go ahead and approve you. Yeah. I'm just glad that I didn't have to eat my whole order. That would have sucked for my mistake. But they changed the size, which I was like, And they kept the stickers because they're like, well, we can still use them. So that was kind of my thing with my order. It's like, okay, you're keeping them, so you still find value in them, so I'm not willing to eat the whole order by myself. I forget spell checker too. I printed some business cards for someone that all they wanted the business card to say was expect a miracle. And I spelled miracle wrong. I missed a letter completely. Like, I didn't spell it wrong, like the wrong letter. I just missed a letter. And it was like, ugh. They didn't catch it either because I sent them multiple proofs. But those are the ones where it's like, ugh, I'm not going to make them eat the cost because they approved it. But that one was like, I need to just turn on the auto spell checker, but whenever I have the auto spell checker on in Illustrator, it always like messes me up because then it's like, what is this squiggly line or what is this error? And it always causes other problems for me. But I should just turn it on. All right, well, all of you in the group, I think you're all on the Facebook page. So make sure you watch out. I will be working on that probably on Friday. Friday is usually the day that I work on miscellaneous things. So make sure you watch for that post in the Facebook group so that we can get your guys' services listed if you want them. So my phone is at 20% now. My wife is home. So unless you guys have any last questions, we are going to call it a night. How did I get my roll printer fixed? So it was actually the same issue I had like 6 or so months ago, where the power cord that comes in over the print carriage, I had to pull that out, power switch the printer and plug it back in, and that fixed the HP. I am getting some samples printed though for some potential different printers because the whatever it's called, the HP is about 4 years old, and with timelines right now with getting products, it tends to be 3 to 6 to whenever to get new equipment. So I'll probably end up ordering it before the 5-year mark, even though that was my original plan, was to replace the HP of 5 years. I'll probably, well, not replace it, but get another one so that I have a supplemental printer, so that if the HP goes down or I decide not to want to fix it, then it's not as big of a deal. The plan would be to convert the HP to only do like banners and some miscellaneous stuff, and the new printer would be for all of the primary production work. But we'll see. Might be different, might be the same, who knows. We'll see. I keep buying too much stuff. Like, this is my biggest regret right now, because even the tech came to look at it and it worked when he was here, and then he left and I tried to run a job and it didn't work. So this stupid Foldmaster is driving me nuts. And it was a lot of money and it's wasted, and I'm ticked about it. It makes me not want to buy used. Bob is saying that the tumbler on the X one tool D whatever is going right now. Bob, what type of tumbler are you doing? Does it have powder coating on it, or is it just a stainless steel? Based off of all the struggles that they're having with the 700 and 800, I would not buy that printer right now. The Foldmaster will crease, and it is accurate in the creasing. The problem is it's very sporadic when it decides to fold. You can tell it that it's supposed to fold, but it doesn't, and I don't know why. And my local tech is he's never really had to service them, so he doesn't know how to really service them. And the manual is like Swedish, so it doesn't make a lot of sense. Video Masters, I feel your pain. Except mine is a $15,000 paperweight. Not fun. So, Bob is marking a stainless steel Contigo because it's the only cylinder one he has. One thing that you can use, Bob, is tape. Obviously, you have to have the right diameter of tape used, but I'm not willing to tip this because there's stuff in it. But a roll of tape works really good for these. You just have to, like I said, get one that's closer in diameter. A diode laser is actually super similar to a fiber laser. A fiber laser just has more, at least from what I understand. The source of a fiber laser is basically just a bunch of diode lasers that are joined together. You could also, Bob, since you have a CNC, you could just CNC one out of wood. I can't believe you spent money on a tapered one. disappointed, Bob. Can't believe you spent money. I don't know why I was texting from my watch. I can text from my computer. Bob, did you buy your X1 or whatever from Amazon? And if you did buy it from Amazon, did you use my affiliate link? And if you didn't use my affiliate link, why not? Is it done yet, Bob? I don't want to leave till it's done. By the way, this like $5 laser from Harbor Freight, don't buy it. The batteries died in like 20 minutes, just leaving it on. Do not recommend. Okay, Bob says he's done. He'll post it on the Facebook group in the morning. I'm guessing with the stainless steel, they did it etch it black. Alright, I guess Bob doesn't want to tell me if it etches black. He's just gonna make it. Oh, he did it with Ceramark. I wonder if you can do it without Ceramark. Time will tell. Well, I look forward to the post tomorrow, Bob. Okay, y'all. Unless there's any last dire questions, I'm gonna jump off. I didn't finish my stickers. I just talked to you guys the whole time. I have them ready to print, but they probably would be done printing if I would have just printed them. But I did buy new print heads and I wanted to replace them all before I sent them. So we'll save that for another day, tomorrow. Okay, hello. We're ending the live stream, but thank you. Thank you for stopping by. That's all right. This is the first live stream in like 4 months. DTG is working out. They ended up buying a new one. It's supposed to be here tomorrow. So more updates to come. The DTG that they have had too many nozzles out. Couldn't do detailed stuff. So they got a new one. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being a part of the print fam. They ended up buying an Omni print. The 330 TX Plus, I believe. But I'll make sure I make a video about it. So, thank you all. We'll see you in the next video, next live stream, on the Facebook group. Who knows? You never know where I'm going to be. Thanks for being here. And have a wonderful night, everyone.